Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Maria Gonçalves podcast. I'm your host, Maria Gonçalves, and today we have three special guests. We have Betsy, Stephanie, and let me see, Leah. So, welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, today's podcast episode, and Betsy helped me organize this podcast episode, is dedicated to those that have lost their children in the spirit world. So that's what today's podcast is about. And it's about sharing different signs that they show us from the spirit world so we know we're not alone. So let me see. I will go around with each one of you because I would love for you to share the story of your children in the spirit world. So I'll start with Stephanie.
So my son's name is Josiah David. He was 3.5 years old when he departed from this earth. And he passed away in an accidental drowning at his aunt's house. I unfortunately wasn't with him at the time, so it was very hard for me to accept. And he was a beautiful little boy. He had big old brown eyes, beautiful long brown hair, curly Sue baby. And he was just so kind and so loving. He was very intelligent. He could do things beyond his time. He could read, write. He knew multiplications. He was just a very, very bright little boy, and he had so much to offer. And I just want to speak as much as I can about him because he was so, so special. And I love the fact that even though he's not here, he's still impacting others, and he's still known. I appreciate that for that space.
Oh, thank you. And Betsy?
Hello, my name is Betsy. My daughter's name is Cheka. She as well was 3.5 when she passed away June 13th of last year to an accidental drowning here at our home. Um, she was the type of kid that everyone was her friend. She was super friendly, lovable. She was very in tune with people's emotions. Um, she always gave the best hugs and kisses. We truly miss her, but we're dedicated to keeping her memory alive and making sure she's present in everything that we do. Um, she has touched so many people beyond, even since she's been, beyond the veil. Um, and I look forward to keeping her legacy alive.
Oh, it's beautiful. And Leah?
I'm Leah. I am Thomas's mom. Thomas passed away on November the 21st of 2022 at 19 years old. He had a motorcycle accident, and he was just hearing you two describe your children, and I'm fixing to follow in the exact same way of saying, Thomas in life, he impacted the world. He had such a good heart, such a compassionate human being, and, human rights and being treated equal, things like that were so important to him at such an early age. And he was such an extraordinary human that I take it very seriously of carrying on his name, his legacy, continuing to speak his name, Thomas. I want to make sure that every day I'm left here, that I speak Thomas's name and I tell the story and, continue to touch as many lives, because that keeps him alive. As long, if I hope it hurts your heart to hear about Thomas. I do, because then you will not forget Thomas. There's going to be something, a lesson from it. And so, these are very difficult stories to hear from grieving moms, but we want it to hurt your heart because we want you to remember them and to, respect that space that we live in every day. It's okay to have a little bit of a hurt heart if it helps to remember our babies.
Yeah. And then I wanted to ask for those that are listening, because I know there is this myth out there that only mediums can connect with people or children that have crossed over. So if you could share with the audience who is a medium and who is not a medium.
I am not a medium.
I am Leah, and I am not a medium.
I am Betsy, and I am a medium.
That was funny the way you ladies said that. I do too. It's just so those that are listening, if they think, well, I can't connect because I didn't study mediumship, I don't sit in a circle. The moms that are stepping forward today are here to tell you and let you know as they share their story today that anybody can connect and you don't have to be a medium. And then before we had started recording, we were talking with Leah about organ donation. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's
Yeah.
important to talk about.
Yes, for sure. And Stephanie, did you say that you also were able to donate?
Yes.
I was just wanting to make sure that I didn't hear that wrong. Okay, so when Thomas got his motorcycle, I talked to him about organ donation because I mean, I've worked in healthcare for years, and in healthcare we call it, that's the season, organ donor season, like motorcycle spring and all that. So I talked to him about organ donation, and when he passed away, I did donate all of his organs, and that has been one of the most saving graces for me in terms of knowing that there's a great purpose from Thomas's death in the life that he gave. I have a very close relationship with his heart recipient. He's actually here visiting with us this week, but his daughter calls me Yaya, like my grandkids do, like she's actually in the next room right now. But organ donation is something that is so misunderstood as to why you do it and why not to do it. But for me, that's just been such an important part of this grieving process. And I wish that people had a better understanding.
Yeah. Stephanie, did you want to add anything?
So Josiah passed away on May 25th of 2024. And as soon as he passed away, it wasn't maybe a few hours before they called us and let us know that there was a child that needed a heart valve. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like I can be honest here, is that the first thought was no. I was like, absolutely not. If my son doesn't get to be here, then I don't think I'm kind enough to give that gift to somebody else. But my husband, Lewis, he was like, your dad is an organ recipient. What would your dad think if he was here? My dad passed away 2 weeks. I'm so sorry, my dog.
That's okay.
My dad passed away 2 weeks after Josiah passed away. One moment.
My dog's part two.
I have a big one, so he barks like a beast.
That's okay.
But in that, I was moved by what my husband told me, and I just really wanted to honor my son and I know that he would live on in somebody else. And who was I to be selfish with a gift that God had given me, which was my son? I couldn't be selfish with him because he didn't belong to me to begin with. I believe that children are a gift and we're here to nurture them, love them, take care of them, but ultimately we all go back to our creator. And I just really wanted a piece of him to still be out here in the world.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not close to them. I haven't really met them or anything like that. I haven't reached out as of yet. But I do plan to.
And then Betsy, you actually do the Christmas drive in honor of your daughter's name.
I do. I try to talk about her every day, all day as well. But we do for her birthday in October, we did a drive for Toys for Tots, and we did really good. We collected over 12 boxes of toys in the 2-month time frame. So this year, hopefully, we can double that. I'm super excited to. She loved kids and she loved everyone was her friend, and I know she would have loved to give all these little kids toys that can't have them. And she was spoiled as anything, so she got everything she had from anything she wanted. I got her. I never told her no. So being able to do that for others is beautiful.
And what was the organization you did that with?
I did it with Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots. Okay, guys. So for those of you that are listening, Betsy will be back when she sets up year 2 of Toys for Tots in memory of her daughter. And we're here to support her. And
Amazing. I
so
truly
now,
love that organization. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I
oh,
was going to say I truly love that organization as well because I'm a nurse and I work for the VA, and that's run by veterans. So it's a
wow.
organization close to my heart as well. So
Oh, wow. That's amazing. It's amazing when you learn about these things because a lot of people don't know, right? Even with
Mhm.
organ donation, people don't know. There's a lot of myths around that, a lot of fear. Um, so I think for myself, I'm an organ donor. If you can share and it can help somebody, then, go out and help somebody. So I do want to ask signs from your children. Who would like to share signs from their children in the spirit world? Leah, do you want to start?
Yes, yeah, I'll start. And I'll preface this with just so people can understand that, it my words are not coming right. I'm not gonna say that. So when Thomas died, I was not a spiritual person at all. I was raised in religious trauma, completely turned away from that when I was a teenager. My entire adult life, I did not feel bad to say I did not believe because I always said, if God is real, then he understands why I walked away. Like, what would he expect me as a human to do? Well, when Thomas died, I didn't, turn to that at all, but it came to me. Um, when I was going back to work, I knew that I had to do something to be able to survive. And when I was in college, I had to do a spirituality course. And for a project, I went to a person I'd worked with years before. She actually has studied under a native shaman, and like she does all the energy work. And I knew nothing about it, but in college, I had went and did a session with her. And before I went back to work, I was like, that might help. If anything can help, I'm willing to do it. And I went to see her the same week I went back to work. And in that meeting with her, she just did just an energy alignment. It was the first time I really had that done. And she told me some things about Thomas. And I didn't believe or not believe it, but it made me feel better. Like it gave me this plan for going back to work and how to kind of manage my thoughts and, controlling my energy and stuff. And, I totally was there for it.
Yeah.
And from that, she had talked about that Thomas had a very strong spirit. And so I went back to work, and the first thing that happened, I worked in a hospital, and I had went to see a patient several days in a row, and he hadn't been in his room. And I went back another day, and his mom was in his room, and they didn't know me. Like, I live in a very populated place. Nobody knew who I was or Thomas. Well, I sat down to talk to her, and I hadn't been talking but a second, and she started kind of fidgeting, and she looked at me and she said, I am so sorry to interrupt you, but Thomas is okay, right? And because I'd already been to Merritt, my energy person, I don't even know what to call her. She's always like medicine woman. So
I
my
like
medicine
that.
woman, yeah.
Medicine woman, yes.
I was open to it. I already knew there was stuff. So she said, I hate to interrupt you, but Thomas is okay, right? And I didn't say anything, but I knew this is real. I didn't doubt it for half a second. And I was silent just for a second, and she said it again. And she said, Thomas is okay, right? And so I said, I do know. I said, Thomas is my son, and he died. It was 2 months ago today. That was when that happened. And she said, good, because he's standing right next to you in a majestic purple robe, and he's doing his hands like this. Say, Thomas is okay, right? So that was a really incredible moment for me. It was the first concrete thing like that had happened. I had all the things happening, like where you see the animals and the clouds and, all of those things. But this lady seen him. And not too long after that, things had already started getting really just really incredible things that were going on, just that I was seeing and feeling and knowing. But I think it was probably in April. Thomas died in November, motorcycle accident. His best friend got a motorcycle. And the same day he had a wreck. He wrecked it. And afterwards, his mother called me and she said, this lady that witnessed it is asking to talk to Thomas's mom. And they were all freaking out, because Thomas is not here and this lady didn't know us. She was just a witness. And I'm like, give her my phone number right now. Because I already knew, this was probably like April. So much stuff had been happening. So I was like, give her my phone number. She called, and long story short is she seen the accident start and described kind of, I guess you could say it was became slow motion, the accident. And she seen him be, lifted from his motorcycle. She said laid on the ground, rolled over. She went over there. That's when Thomas was there, and she talked to him. And when the EMS and the police were responding, she thought Thomas had ran off, and she wanted his mom to know that he was okay, because she literally said, I thought maybe he had a warrant or something. And so she just wanted his mom to simply know that, yeah, he was here, and he's okay. And that really was something that showed me, first of all, how the reality of what we can know, what we are allowed to know, if we only will listen, and even with this concrete thing, there's the majority of people around me do not even think that's real, and this random lady witnessed it. And those are the two first things and the biggest that happened with me, the signs. There's always signs. Thomas is a very spiritually he's strong. He has a strong spirit, and obviously he's been able to do those kind of things where he intervened. And I've learned how to live forward with him in spirit because of that. This is what it is to be Thomas's mom, and this is how we live every day. And it sucks every day. Every single day sucks to be a grieving mom, but when you're able to see these things that happen, if you'll only look, and it is part of God. I have learned that in this process, this is really God. This is God, and I think we all have the capacity to learn that. And I have started doing some mediumship classes so I can learn how to listen through my mind. I have a brain that goes 90 miles an hour, and I don't practice it at all, but I have learned how to become more aware. And I'm going to continue to grow in that so I can continue to see what is there with Thomas. It's amazing.
Oh, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And Stephanie, do you want to share? Feel free to jump in, ladies. Just pretend that we're having a coffee chat and we're not recording anything.
So for me, I have always been able to see things and see signs from other family members, but I never really knew what it meant, I guess. I was so young, and when we're younger, we have a more open mind. And when Josiah passed away, I was very much going to church and very connected. I've never been really religious. I've just been very spiritual. So I think that that's kind of why I was always able to pick up on other things, is because, spiritually, I've always just been really aware. So when he passed away, I met Betsy in a grief group, and she is the one who was like, do you see the signs? Do you see the signs? Do you see this? Do you see that? And I'm like, no, Betsy, like you're going crazy. She was like pulling over on the side of the road, taking pictures of clouds and sending them to me. And I'm like, Betsy, you're going nuts. But it was crazy because as we kept talking about the spiritual and about our children in the spiritual and how connected they were in the spiritual, it kind of like sparked this openness in me where I was like, now I recognize this. Now I recognize that. Now I see that. I would go outside almost every day after he passed away, and I always saw two butterflies playing together. And I never really thought about it until I was like, we released butterflies when he passed away, and Cheka and Josiah both loved butterflies. So they're out here just playing and they're sending us butterflies, you know? So I started seeing those signs. When my mother actually saw the signs as well, because she went to the beach with my older son after he passed away. And she said that a big, huge blue butterfly followed them back to the car from the beach all the way back to their car. And that was just another sign. And just seeing all the beauty through nature that he was sending us, because he loved the outdoors. That boy could sit outside for hours and not care that he was burning up and hot and catching a heat stroke. He was just happy being outside. He was a very, very connected child. He loved being on the ground barefoot. He did not like to wear shoes outside. He would walk on rocks. And I'm like, how does this kid walk on rocks? And he just loved being in the dirt. He would play with dirt. He would just sit there and play, not even pull the blades of grass, just stroke the blades of grass. And just everything was so beautiful to him. And I said, I need to really see the world through his eyes to connect with him and to understand him. Josiah wasn't a boy of many words. He was level 1 autistic, so he didn't communicate that well. He was learning to talk a lot before he passed away, but he would always communicate with bringing something to me, or, you know, he would pull my hand and take me to where he wanted me to go or lead me to what he needed. And I felt like at that moment, that's what he was doing to me is, Mom, I'm leading you because I need you to see that I'm still here with you, that I'm not gone. Josiah was the light of my life. Out of all my children, I hate to say this because it sounds so messed up as a mother, but he was my favorite. He was my moon and my stars. I was so in love with that boy. I was just in love with him, with his sweetness, his love. He would just grab my face and he would kiss each cheek, kiss my forehead, and then kiss me on the lips, like all the time. That was his thing to do. And I started having dreams about him. I would dream that I was looking for him and that I would find him and he was safe and he was fine. And in one of the dreams, my grandfather passed away maybe 17 years ago. And my grandfather was with him, and he was with my aunt who also passed away when I was younger. And they were walking with him in a stroller, taking him to eat tacos. They were eating and he was just having a good time. And when I caught up with them, they were all together. And I said, where were you guys? I was looking for you. And they're like, we've been right here this whole time. So I knew that Josiah, although he was here a very short time, in spirit, he had been around a long time. I really believe that my son, it wasn't his first go around in this world. And I think that that's why he had to stay so little this time. And I know that in the next, I'll see him again, and in every other life after that. But I just want mothers to know that their babies are there. Your loved ones are there, and they very much want you to know that they're there. And we just have to be open to new, open to the spirit, to break tradition, to break what we've been taught for so long, that we've been put in a box, and we have to compartmentalize everything. And everything in religion has to be logical, right? They all want logic, and this is the most unnatural laws, so we have to be completely illogical. We have to go beyond those borders. We have to want to connect, first of all. And yes, I know that we're torn. I know that we are broken and we will never be the same, but it's learning our new reality that will definitely catapult you to being able to have that relationship with your child in spirit. And, you know, when we leave this earth, we leave a mark here. And Josiah, I knew that he could see things ever since he was little. My dad passed away 2 weeks after he was born in my home, actually. My dad was, you know, not doing very well. He was on dialysis and whatnot. And he wasn't, you know, I remember that I was going to move to New Jersey before he passed away when I was pregnant with Josiah. And, you know, one day I'm just sitting in my room and I hear a voice clear as day that said, if you leave, you will not see your dad again. So I chose to stay. And sure enough, he passed away 2 weeks after Josiah. And every night at 4 o'clock in the morning, which was the time my dad would wake up to go to dialysis, he would come say goodbye to Josiah and he would say, I love you, buddy. And he would walk out of my room. And Josiah at every morning at 4 o'clock would wake up and would giggle and just giggle by himself, just looking up. And I knew that he was touched and that when he passed, I was like, I have no doubt that he's going to be around here, that he's going to show me the signs that he's around. And every day I'll talk to Betsy and I walk outside and I'm like, oh, there are the butterflies. There they are. They're playing today. And shortly after he passed away, also a hawk came and started just sitting here. And one day I'm driving with my husband, picking him up from work, and we're driving home and we see the hawk perched up on a store sign on the road that we were driving on. And he looks at it and my husband's like, I've drug him into my crazy. So he's like, look, babe, it's the hawk. The hawk is following us. The hawk is following us. And as soon as we got home, I kid you not, the hawk landed on the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it followed us home. And we were talking about Josiah. So that was like, you know, him letting us know, hey guys, I'm here. Like, you guys talk about me like I'm not here, but I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been like sign after sign after sign of him. I went to the beach not too long ago and he loved turtles. We rescued a turtle because of Josiah. And he had that turtle forever. He would sneak out of the house and go jump in the turtle's pond. And he would smell like turtle juice and it was disgusting, but he was living his best life. He didn't care if it was in his hair. I was like, where's Josiah? And I see the back door open. I go outside and he's literally in the pond going like this with the water. Just, oh, it was disgusting. He smelled horrific, but he loved that turtle. That was his turtle. So I went to the beach and I saw a turtle painted on the wall. I'm like, he's with me because he loved the water. He loved the beach. That was his place to be. And just seeing those things, you're like, wow, like I'm not alone. He's there. Like my child is with me. And I tell Betsy all the time, like, you know, we tell each other like, oh, you know, check is with me. And she'll be like, no, well, Josiah's with me today. And, you know, we just see each other's signs. And it's just, you know, it's beautiful. And I believe that Josiah and Cheka connected me and Betsy here on earth because they're connected
Oh my God,
in
for
spirit.
sure.
And
they both passed away 2 weeks from each other and they were born 2 weeks from each other. Like Josiah was born 10 days before Cheka and then passed away 2 weeks before Cheka. It's crazy.
yeah, so we've always been very aware that they're together in spirit. They play around together. And, you know, I'm thankful that I have my best friend that opened up my eyes to see the spiritual and go on this crazy bonkers journey with her, you know, because we're both crazy bonkers now. So I really, I'm just blessed. I'm very blessed to be able to have that connection with my child. And I hope that other moms are inspired and can, you know, tune into their children's energies. And you don't have to be a light worker. You don't have to be a medium. You don't have to be, I mean, none of that. I mean, if you want to learn it, hey, that's better for you because you'll better understand it. But the signs are there. We just have to be open. That's the only thing that spirit is asking, is for us to be open, you know, to that we don't understand.
Yeah.
I have a question for you because, okay. So my question is for people that are out, it's a very basic question because you mentioned the clouds and Betsy takes pictures of the clouds. So for people that don't understand what you're talking about, can you explain to us why do you take pictures of what's in the clouds?
Oh, those are
We're
my
crazy.
best signs. Yeah. Cheka sends me the most beautiful images in the clouds. Like today, this week has been heavy for me. Like emotionally, I don't know what's going on, but well, I know what's going on. It's just what it is,
Exactly.
being a grieving mom. But so I ride this roller coaster and we spiral and that's what we do. But today, her signs have been like really strong. So as soon as I walked outside, I seen an elephant in the clouds along with a unicorn in the clouds. So as I'm rushing to get my little one, I stop to take pictures of the clouds. I'm the weird lady who always pulls over when they see clouds. Because
So
it's
here's another
always
question, Betsy, because you
uh-huh.
said you see those images in the clouds. And this is for grieving moms or anybody that's lost a child. How do you know that's her?
Because she puts my attention to it. She stops me dead in my tracks. There's no hesitation in my mind that she's sending me these images. I'll be in my house and I'll be in here cleaning, doing something, and then all of a sudden I'm like, let me go outside. And it's because there's something outside waiting for me. She's sent me so many images. I've had unicorns to like I had went to a grief retreat, and I was driving up there by myself and I'm like, it was like 4 hours away. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, I'm about to turn around. But as I got there, they greeted me. I went on the deck, and on the deck, I look outside and there was a unicorn in the clouds because she loved unicorns. So she'll send them to me very frequently. Um, my signs are all over the place as far as this past year, I have went in on this mission of connecting with my girl because that's what it's been. So I grew up Catholic and raised Catholic. I went to Catholic high school, everything, grade school. Um, so all that is taboo. Thinking of signs and thinking of mediumship is taboo. Everything is taboo. Everything is evil. But I pulled away from that. I wasn't practicing for a while, but I did also grow up. I grew up Puerto Rican. My mom and them used to go get their tarot cards read, and you know, go to mediums and psychics and stuff like that. So I was around that as well. So I was always open to it, but I just didn't see it myself. Like I didn't know if I was going to believe it or not. But after Chuck died, her personality in spirit is just as alive and bright and shining as it was when she was here. Um, I can say like one of the first things that I saw how strong she was the day after her birthday. We had celebrated her birthday because she had turned 4, and my one of my friends had put a whole bunch of balloons outside, and one of the balloons, of course, are unicorns because she loved unicorns. So my little one, Davina, wanted to play with the unicorn balloon, so I took one down and I gave it to her. She put it down on the floor. So then I said to her, the body was to me, the legs were to the street. So I said, Davina, pick up your unicorn. So as she goes to pick up the unicorn rotates so that the legs were towards her so she could pick the unicorn up. And my husband was there, he witnessed it, I witnessed it. We knew it was her. There was no wind. None of the other balloons moved that were out there, just the one that she was rotating. So it was just to forget it.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
that
neat.
was like one of the most amazing signs that I get. She sells us as well, like the butterflies and the dragonflies, because they're always around me. Like I'll go outside at lunch and I look up and there's one right there waiting for me. There's her biggest joke she sends me is vultures. So she'll send me vultures every day. I'll get like there's and she told my friend it's because in a reading that she likes them. She likes the vultures, so she'll send them to me. Even when it's raining, if she can't send me the vulture because it's raining, she'll send me a black feather. It'll be somewhere waiting for me. Um, so she is definitely full of life, full of spirit. My biggest sign right now is honestly is Davina. Like my 2-year-old, she interacts with her. Like they'll be playing together and she'll talk to her. And prior to Davina was only one when she passed away and she wasn't speaking. Now she'll say her name clearly. She will point out her pictures, she pulls them down, she kisses them every day. Yesterday I was telling you I was a little upset and she just looked at me and she said, "Mommy, are you sad?" And she touched my face. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sad. I miss Cheka." And she was like, "She's right there." And she pointed to like right in front of me, saying she was right in front of us. So she is my biggest, most apparent sign right now of how connected that even though she was a baby, she knows her and she knows her energy and she's able to see her and actually point her out to me all the time.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I want to say welcome, Norma. We are recording. So you are recorded. And each of the moms have been sharing their stories of signs from their children from spirit. Would you like to share your journey with your child in the spirit world?
Sure. Hi, my name is Norma. My son, his name was Rodrigo. Well, his name is Rodrigo Tapia, but he liked to be called Junior because he felt old, so he didn't want to be called Rodrigo. He passed away April 27th, a year ago. And he sends me a lot of signs. Like dragonflies. He manifests in my pictures. When we take pictures, he manifests. You could see his spirit around, his energy and everything. Um, I could feel him a lot, but he's very well missed physically. But I know he's around me, sending me a lot of signs. My daughter, she sees him around me all the time when she comes around the house. So I love when she comes around because she's able to see him, and she'll tell me, "Oh, he's in the kitchen or he's in his room pacing or something." So I believe that they're still around and looking at signs. It's like Betsy, she's always posting pictures, and I could see Cheka on her pictures all the time, and I'm circling them and sending them to her
I love it when
because
she messages me.
yeah, there's signs everywhere. And I learned it through a medium, of portfolio, a medium that reads pictures. She taught me how to read them, and that's how I started learning. And I have that gift that I could see spirit in pictures, and I'm going that route as well, just like these girls right here that are, learning mediumship and stuff. And but Junior's around. He'll always send me like a dragonfly, hummingbirds. Like today, I was going in my car, a beetle went inside my car, and I go, "That's Junior right there," and I told my husband, "That's Junior," and we thank him all the time. He sends me angels on the sky, his pictures. Um, what else is his face is on the sky too? Like, when we went to the Padres game, you could see the lightning of his face. And we told him, send us a sign, and right automatic you could see his picture, hearts in the clouds. And I get a lot of angel numbers from him, 77, because that was his number for baseball. But yeah, he's around, and our babies are all around always.
That's right. That's beautiful, Norma.
Thank you.
That is beautiful. I am wondering, for those, because I know there's a lot of people out there that think that there might be this myth of you don't get a sign for a long time. Like, you have to wait a year before you get a sign. You have to wait 6 months before you get a sign. I am curious, how long after their passing did you get their first sign?
For
I got
me,
my. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I got my first. I got my first sign when we were praying the rosary. I had all my chairs lined up in the middle of the carport. There was a big heart that he put. I don't know what kind of stain he put, but it was a big heart. Right, like right like 3 days after, 3 or 4 days after, I got a sign, and I didn't even know, until I started searching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right away.
How about the other ladies, the other moms?
For me, it was the day of his funeral. My jasmine tree was completely unbloomed. And the day of his funeral, we walked outside in the morning and the jasmine tree was in full bloom. I'm talking about every flower was open. And it's crazy because this year, on the day of his funeral as well, the anniversary of his funeral, he also had it in full bloom. And that was like one of the first signs of my son, was like right away. And also, once everybody left back home and it was just me left at the house, and we were here alone, we could hear him in the living room because he loved the living room. That was his favorite place to be because we have a huge bay window. So he would sit and open up the curtains and open up the blinds, and he just would sit and look outside. That was his favorite thing to do, and he loved the rain. So one day it was raining and I could hear the little pitter patters of his little footsteps. And I think I told Betsy, I was like, Betsy, I hear him. And she was like, yeah, he's there. He's absolutely there. And we could hear him. And it was crazy because that same day we have a gate for the dog, and he used to love opening it and closing it. And I constantly, if I'm alone in the house, I hear him in the living room and I hear him opening and shutting the little gate. And my dog, which was his best friend, the beast that I told you about, I have 125-pound, well, he's like about 130 pounds now. He's gained a little weight. Johnson American Bulldog. So it's about as tall as my hip, big, huge dog. That was his best friend.
Aw.
He would climb all over him. He would step on him, use him as a step stool to get on the table, to get on the bed, all of that. And Phantom actually sees the signs. Phantom still sees him. And so we'll say, where's Josiah? Where's your boy? And he'll look to where his bed used to be. And he looks and he'll sit and then he cries. And I'm like, do you miss your baby? And he'll just cry. So he knows that Josiah's still in this house. And, he still sneaks around because he still opens that gate for that dog every time.
Oh, I love that. How about you, Betsy?
I started seeing them immediately as well. In the beginning, I really didn't want to sit inside my house, so I sat outside a lot, and I would always get birds and butterflies and cardinals, hummingbirds that I've never seen before. All of a sudden, started showing up at my home. Blue jays, I've never seen them around here before. All of a sudden, now they're popping up, sitting on my rocking chair. She's sent so many signs from starting from the very beginning. Yeah, he is.
I don't know if
And they
Betsy
just,
remembers this. Remember when you had the flying birds and I had the flying birds at the same time?
hmm
When we had the bird phenomena?
yeah, yes, yes. They are. I mean, she's a strong little soul. All these babies of our babies are strong little souls.
Mhm.
Um, they definitely make their presence known. Josiah sends me signs all the time. I see turtles everywhere.
She had to rescue one on her trip.
Yes.
He was like, I'm with you here.
Uh,
I
yeah,
love
but they and then it's beautiful because my family as well, like my husband, he sees signs, and he actually he feels her. Like she'll hug him and he can feel her touch, and he just knows it's her. Like the other day he was telling me a story about he was driving home from work and he was sitting there talking, and he was like, I could hear her in my head telling me like everything was gonna be okay. And he was like that he had, attempted to get sad, and she like put her hands on his chest, and he could actually feel her stopping him, like, no, don't do that. Like, our kids want us to be happy. They are in a place of no pain, no suffering. They are, it's all light and love there. So they don't want us to be in a depressed state. They want us to know that they're there. They want us to feel their love because that's what they feel is
Yeah.
ultimate love. And I mean, in this journey, that's exactly what I found, and what I've been learning is that it's love. Like at your highest point, your highest self, That's what they want you to share, is in that love. They don't want you to
I
suffer
love.
because they're not suffering. Why would they want you to suffer? They're happy. They're doing what they, and they're able to be with whoever at any time. So there's no limitations. My daughter was, full of life, and she was the bravest person I've ever met. She wasn't scared of anything. And there she gets to do whatever she wants. So why would she not be happy? I always say, like, I know that she's okay. It's me here on this human existence that, suffers because you just want that physical connection. But I think once you understand that they're still here, energetically, they haven't gone anywhere, it brings you some sort of peace.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing. And Leah, how long after the passing of your son did you get your first sign?
I had my mind went sideways. It was not within I think it was probably around a month. Yes, I have a connection, a strong connection with just the native spirit. Like I live on land that was native land, and I already knew, and I started seeing, animals. We were coming home one day, and we were up at the top of, I live on a ridge, and so we were coming in, and there was two owls. It was 2 p.m. Two owls flew in front of us, and like you don't see owls like that in the daytime or night really, but there was two that flew across. And so then 2 turkeys flew across. And so then we looked, and there's 2 deer standing there on the side of the road. And we're like, well, this is a Dr. Doolittle moment. Knew what it was. We had actually just been talking about it, about what we were experiencing, and how people just they don't believe like what I'm saying, what I'm seeing. And he said, well, like what they did to the people that believe that, they burned them at the stake, right? So why would anybody in this area, where we are with this society, understand, that this is not a bad thing? And we were just talking about that, and then the animals came across. But I think the most important thing for people that want to be able to feel that presence, and this is what I did early on, is there's a way that you feel inside when your kids are around you, just when alive, okay? And I noticed I was still having those reactions, like as if Thomas were near me. And I know that he was. That's what it is. Our brain still reacts to our children. And I would smell smoke. I would smell firewood smoke. That's how I knew Thomas was near. And around maybe a month after I seen him standing there, I had gotten his friends together and kind of gave him a speech about, we're going to get through this. And he was literally, I smelled the firewood smoke so strong. And he was standing right in front of me laughing so hard. I started laughing uncontrollably with him. And he was holding his side, and he's like pointing toward his room saying, I cannot believe you are even trying to deal with all that. And, I'm just glad that I was I don't know the word, my mind was open enough to see and feel those things and learn how to live forward with Thomas. The past Thomas is gone. We can't live back there, because it will drown you. It will sink you to death if you allow yourself to stay in that. And with the spirit, we get to live forward with our children. And, it's great.
Oh, that is beautiful. Those are beautiful stories. I am wondering, for grieving parents that are on this journey, is there anything you would want to say to them that maybe you wish you had heard early on in your journey?
It's either going to make you or break you. You're either going to go all in and want to open your mind to see those signs for your child so you can live forward with your child, or you're going to be so into your grief and sadness and pain that you're not going to see those things. It's honestly something that you have to break free from in a way. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, if I'm not in pain, I don't miss my child. No, you miss your child every single day, regardless if there's pain or no pain, because there's times when I'm cracking up with my other children, but I still miss my son. So that's always going to be there. But it's either you're either going to open up your mind and break all, I call it breaking tradition, because we grow up believing certain things because that's what's been passed down and passed down and passed down and passed down. But I've always been very aware. Like Leah says, you know, she lives on native land. My father was part Native American. My grandfather is Taino Indian, you know, so he grew up very open. And my mother and my grandmother, they were, you know, very spiritual people. And I was like, you know, I can't go by what I was taught anymore. You have to just open up your mind and learn to walk forward with your child in this new way, because honestly, that's the only sanity I have left.
Yes.
Is being able to see my child in the spirit. Because if not, if I didn't have this connection, if I didn't have a person who dedicated their time like Betsy did show me that this is possible, then I would have been a mess. I would be in a, you know, mental institute locked up, because that's how much it broke me. And I hate the term, you know, for us parents who do have other children, oh, well, you have other kids.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Every child is different in their own special, unique way. And each child pulls at your heartstrings in different ways. And I'm telling you, Josiah didn't pull on a specified heartstring. He grabbed all of them and pulled them. And it's, you just have to honestly open up your mind, open up your heart to hearing your child, to seeing them, to wanting to see them. When you open up that line of communication, they're going to run with joy because they've been waiting for you. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to say anything?
For me, I just feel like everyone has expectations of how you're supposed to grieve. There is no book, there is no magic way, there is no, you know, right way or wrong way to do things. You do everything in your own time. It's just being open, just allowing, just paying attention to what's around you already. And just like Steph said, listen with your heart. Like, as weird as that sounds, that's what you have to listen with, is your heart. Like, allow your heart to show you the way, because your child will guide you. Like, I've met all these beautiful women because of Cheka. She's put them all in my path, every single one of them. And she's put so many people in my path just to show me what she was trying to show me. There's times where I am spiraling and I'm crying and I'm upset and I can't get myself together. I can't breathe. And she will send someone with a sign. She will send my mom to send me a rainbow. She will send a friend to show me the vulture that they just saw, because they know that's my sign. So even in times where you may not see the signs yourself, they will show you that they're there. They will send you the signs through someone else. It always happens. There's no way that it fails. There's not a day that goes by that I don't see something or someone sends me something, ever. And it's just that, allowing the space for it to occur, allowing the love that you have for your child to continue on in that way. And Leah coin phrased it, living forward with your child. Like, she's taught me that so much, bringing her along with me in my journey, and just knowing that she was so special here while she was here on earth, and she's so special beyond the veil. And she's showing me what, you know, it takes to mother a child in spirit. Like, I'm still her mom. I still love her. She's still my world. She taught me so much in the small amount of time that she was here. She had so much conviction. She stood her ground. It was never a lie. I was so proud that she never lied. She always stood her ground, and she said what it was, and that's what if she did something, she did it. And that's who she showed me, that loving yourself is the best thing to do, and loving who you are. And each of your children are different, and Yeah, I hate that. Oh, well, you have other children. That means nothing. That doesn't negate the fact that I still love her.
And we still have those children too,
It
just in a
means I'm a
different
worse
way.
mother to the child that's alive. Let's just be honest. Like they got
No,
the short
stop
end of the
it.
stick. It is not better that I have another child. I promise. That's
Stop.
the way it feels. I hate that. Oh,
Oh, I'm
You
drowning
know,
in kids over here, so don't even try it.
you know, like it's like Betsy said, they send signs using other people. Yesterday I was having a bad day and my friend was driving. She couldn't take a picture, but in two cars it said Junior 77 and the song of Michael Jackson came Beat It. Like
Oh,
saying, Mom, you could beat this, you know? And
yes.
he loved Michael Jackson, so it all makes sense. So Norma, he's sending you a sign. He's all be happy, and so my friends all open to this stuff too with the signs and stuff. And she's all, I saw Junior. He's saying beat it. His mama could beat this. So she's looking at signs being open. I feel like people are gonna judge us, but who cares? Because they're not going through the things that we're going through.
they're the
And
lucky ones.
yeah, honestly, we're the lucky ones because we do see it, we're open to it, and Junior was preparing me for this before he passed away as well, to be open to it. And now I know he comes through and says that that's awesome, Mom, that you're open to it. And I feel him all the time. I felt him all day today. No, so be open to it.
Yes.
I want to say something. My advice to grieving mothers, as a grieving mother, and I remember telling Betsy, this is one of the very first things I told you, was to be selfish. Be selfish. Learn how to think about yourself, take care of yourself, ultimately above all. And once you do that, if you can prioritize yourself, and that doesn't mean you treat other people poorly, but you are allowed to grieve. I feel like losing a child, you just got a free card to live your life the way that you have and can survive. Like, and shut out all the noise from all around you about how you should grieve, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Like, completely shut that out and learn who you are now, because you will never get better. Grief will not phase out. The grief stages are not, they do not apply to grieving moms. They just don't. They don't. And so learn how to be present each day. Shut out that other noise. And even if you feel guilty, like, I know the spiritual, the religious part of it is heavy, and people will feel guilty for even having these thoughts. But learn how to be selfish and prioritize yourself and be present in your day, and whatever that means, however you survive that day. Learn how to be there, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks about it, because it's not their business, and they don't have to live this life. They don't. And so therefore they do not get an opinion ever. I am very strong about that. Like, as a grieving mom, we get to do whatever we need to do to survive. So learn to hear, learn to be.
Oh, beautifully said. So as we are coming, I can't believe it's been an hour. It flew by so fast.
It did.
So before we go, any last words? We can go around the circle, I guess our Hollywood squares. Betsy, any last words before we go, or advice, or words of wisdom?
I would say just learn to sit with yourself and learn your own energy. Just feeling, yourself, and you'll start to feel things around you. Just being open, um, not feeling like you have to have the answer, because there is no answer. It's not really about the end game. It's about the journey right now, surviving, breathing, and if it's moment to moment, then it's moment to moment. There is no shame. I mean, we've lost our babies, and we lost very, very important people to us that changed our lives. So it's not going to change overnight, but becoming comfortable with knowing that they're still here and they're still trying to contact you will bring you so much peace, and will bring you and show you the love that it goes on even beyond this, what we see in front of us. There's so much going on in the background that we don't see.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be happy or sad or cry or scream, whatever you need to do. Take those moments for you. I'm at the point where I don't allow people to judge me. I don't, and I try to be very kind to myself because I'm my worst critic. So just allowing that space for me to be me, and honestly just learning who I am, because I feel like I lost myself completely when I lost her, and giving myself the space to do it. So if I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to take a mediumship class because I feel like I need to connect, then that's what I do. Because I teach, I'm with teachers in the UK or something. I do. If I need to stay home and not do nothing, I do that. Just give yourself space to be. There's no rhyme or reason with this.
Oh,
It's
beautiful.
not natural.
Thank you. And how about Norma?
It's like Betty said, that we need to learn ourselves, because we did lose something big, there's always going to be emptiness in our heart, and it doesn't mean that we're forgetting about our loved ones, or our angels up there. We're always going to be grieving mothers, grieving parents, but we have to be open to the signs that our children send us, because they are here with us. Sometimes we don't want to believe. It's like right now I'm getting the chills because Junior's here with me. So be open, you guys, and grieve at your own pace. There's no speed limit here. It could take you a year, 2 years, 3 years, but I think we're always going to grieve for our own children, because they're always missed.
Yeah.
So be open to it.
Oh, thank you. And Leah?
My piece of advice would be to find a community. I know that, like me, Betsy, Norma, and I, and Stephanie, I learned today that you were actually in that first early group that Betsy, like, I can't even remember last year. Like, so I've met you before.
Yes.
But the community that I have been able to become a part of is of grieving moms, where we're all trying to do this together, has been the difference night and day for it. I can't imagine doing this without a community. And I think that's what every grieving mom needs to try to find, is a community where you fit in, and if you want to learn how to see signs, join one of our community, not us. I mean, we don't have a community like that, I don't think, but, there's lots of communities like this. Find somewhere and you'll learn how to do it, and with people that understand, like Betsy and I literally will be like, I just don't want to live today. I have to live today. I will live today. I know today I will live. And to find a community where it's okay to say that and open and, move forward with us.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have one more.
That's super important. Yes.
One more thing to say. To all these grieving parents, you guys sign up on Facebook. It's a good community for all these parents that want to join. They're located in Arizona, and there's a lot of resource there if they want to be open to to signs and resources and everything, and they'll learn more too for their children. So helpingparentsheal.org if they want to connect to that community.
I will put that up. You were breaking up a little bit when you were talking. You were freezing a bit. But for those that are listening or didn't hear everything she said, there is a support group, because I heard Facebook, correct, Norma?
Yes,
You said the
yes.
Facebook group? We can put that link if you just share it with me. I could add it up there. And any resources that have helped you, I'm more than happy to share underneath this video. Or if you guys are listening to this on Apple or Spotify or any audio platform, I will put the links that the moms today that are sharing their stories found helpful for them. I'm more than happy to share all of those links for the parents. And Stephanie, any last words before we go?
Just what everybody else said, you know, we need community. I'm thankful that I have Betsy. We call ourselves the Spiral Squad because we literally call each other every single day to spiral. But
He tells me that. I do. Yeah,
I do.
We do.
She's not just my grief partner. She's my life partner. She's my best friend. I am blessed to be doing this new life with her. And honestly, if it wasn't for her, sorry. Betsy, you know I love you, but if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now. So I'm just thankful that Chaka and Josiah knew what they were doing and that I have a sister. I do horrible with female relationships. I've always had a lot of guy friends. So it's really weird for me to have a girl that I'm so close with, a woman that I'm so close with, but she's honestly, I hate that we had to meet this way, but I love that we have each other because I will drop everything for her and she'll drop everything for me. And that's the kind of people that you need in your life when you're going through the worst pain in the world, is to have someone that loves you and will support you no matter if you're happy, if you're sad, if you haven't showered that day, if you just feel like you want to not live anymore. And even though we won't go away, we definitely think about it often because we want to be with our babies, but we have work to do. And that goes for other grieving mothers. There's, you know, me, Betsy, Norma, and Leah, we cannot reach everybody. You know, we need a community, and we want to inspire other moms to really plug yourself into the community that's near you. Somebody who, you know, I found Betsy through a Facebook post. I posted about my son and she commented about her daughter, and I can't explain why. We just connected. You know, I had other mothers message me and call me and all that stuff and talk about our kids, but that was the only constant that I had. And, you know, it's definitely good to have a life of someone that you're doing life with, you know, just to be there. Yeah. That just gets you and doesn't judge you, because some of the things that come out of a grieving mom's mouth
can be rough.
Great.
Let's just say.
So, you know, we just have that safe place. It's be a safe place for another mom. And we don't all have it together. We, you know, we definitely don't have it together.
No.
We go through it every single day, but you know what? We're going to keep going through it, and we're going to do it together, and we're going to love each other, and we're going to support each other. And, you know, if Leah calls me at 3:00 in the morning crying or needing something, I will answer that phone, because what would we do if we didn't? You know, just put yourself in somebody else's shoes. How would you feel if you didn't have anybody? So be that light to somebody else. Even if you have just a little bit left, offer it up. And I promise you that you will feel needed, loved, seen, and it gives you a purpose. It gives you a purpose. It does. Sorry, I'm the crier of the group.
Oh my God. Actually, I am, but
I never cried. I don't. I haven't cried yet. I mean, that's the whole issue I got. Like, I'm still gonna cry. I was gonna do it last month. I like committed and I didn't. It's just like,
Leah's like, I've been wanting to cry for 30 minutes.
I got too much. I don't cry. I've got too
no,
much.
she
to do.
doesn't cry.
I don't. I don't. I want to
That's
just
me.
say this real
I'm the
quick
crybaby.
about. I started Shattered Hearts Oasis for grieving moms. That's what I've done with my life since Thomas. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, therapist, and so I started Shattered Hearts Oasis for grieving moms, and it's it's building like this. It because of Betsy. I started it because of Betsy, like when I met Betsy, and but I'm building it as the community. I just wanted to say that. It's quite amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful. And then you will send me the link to it, and
Yeah.
then I can share with the other moms or parents that are grieving. And I just want to take a moment. Norma, did you want to say anything before we go? Oh,
No.
okay. You were doing this. I wasn't sure if you were about to talk or not. Okay. I just want to say thank you so much
Yeah.
to all the moms that are here today, to Stephanie, Leah, Norma, and Betsy for opening up your hearts and sharing your stories. And I hope that today's episode helps other grieving parents be open to the signs from their children, knowing they're not alone, knowing your children walk with you each and every day. And I hope them sharing their stories inspires you to look around and see the signs. And I just want to say thank you, everybody. And feel free to comment below or email and share your stories. I'm more than happy to pass along any stories that you guys, if you listen to this and you feel compelled to share, and I can pass it along to the grieving moms here today on today's episode. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. Okay,
Thank you so
goodbye.
much,
Thank
Maria.
you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye,
Thank
girl.
you.
All right.